The UFC Abu Dhabi card on ABC coming up is stacked. Of course it's an Abu Dhabi card. Look, let's just talk about this loaded card. I'm not trying to complain here. The main event is Robert Whittaker versus RDR. I like that fight. It reminds me of Robert Whittaker versus Dricus. But we got 5 more fights to list off here on this main card. Masvidal Evloev versus Aaron Pico is on this card. Now those are 2 names that draw eyeballs. I know the hardcore fans mostly know about Evloev, but Aaron Pico's been talked about by the Bellator guys. Hardcore fans know Evloev. What a co-main event. We all know Evloev should be fighting for a belt, so that's a prestigious name to have on a fight night card. Petr Yan versus Marcus McGhee is the featured fight. Weird matchmaking with Marcus McGhee. I don't know if he deserves Petr Yan, whether he can win or not. But that's Petr Yan. In my opinion, he deserved a title shot more so than O'Malley. And the fact that Marcus McGhee's got a lot of hype behind him, all the bantamweights say he's top notch. I'm sure he's better than Patchy Mix. That's a fire featured fight right there. But there's way more. Sedner Magomedov is fighting Bryce Mitchell. It's actually going down. Bryce Mitchell's dropping down to bantamweight, 135 pounds. Curious how he's going to do there. Style-wise, if you like grappling and scrambles, these guys might be putting themselves in twisters. This is a jiu-jitsu fighter's dream to watch right here. Am I done yet? No, I'm not even done yet. You know that one prospect, the pirate, with one eye, Shara Bullet? He's fighting Marcus Barrialt, or Marc-Andre Barrialt. I call him Barrialt. He cracked Silva's skull in the last card. He snapped his losing streak. He's back on the win streak. And he's fighting the Bullet. This is an Abu Dhabi card, first of all. And we know how Dana bends backwards and bends over for them. But the thing is, this is a free fight night. I'm not complaining. I love good fight cards. But I'm looking at what we watched, what was it, last month? Bilal Muhammad fighting in UFC 315. Valentina Shevchenko is the co-main event versus Faro. Ayman Zahabi. Grasso versus Silva. BSD versus Kyle Prepelic on a pay-per-view. I know that was Canada, but that was still a pay-per-view. And then I look back at the fight card we just watched, UFC 316, another pay-per-view. Now, it turned out good. I was happy Mario Batista won. Luque and Holland put on a fun show. But Gastelum Pfeiffer, Pena Harrison, O'Malley getting a title shot. I mean, alright. I'm still saying Abu Dhabi's better than 315 and 316. I think everyone can agree with me on that. And this has 6 fights on the main card, as opposed to 5, but only 4 that I approve of because the co-main event is a female fight. Compare that to Masvidal Evloev versus Aaron Pico as a co-main event. Which one are you paying for? So in my eyes already, the Abu Dhabi card coming up, Whittaker versus RDR, is better than 315. Better than 316. Alright, let's look ahead at the pay-per-views that didn't even happen yet. Let's fast forward to 318. Holloway versus Poirier. Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. Neil Magny versus Gunnar Nelson. Bruno Ferreira versus Ikram. Jimmy Crute. It still doesn't match up to the Abu Dhabi fight card on ABC that's for free. How about 319? Dricus Hamzat. These fights are not nearly as good as this bout list on the Abu Dhabi card. Seriously, I can go compare them side by side, and you would tell me I would pick this fight over that fight, and you would end up choosing more fights that you like on the Abu Dhabi card. We all know UFC 317 International Fight Week. It's top heavy. We got Topuria versus Oliveira, Pantoja versus Kai Kara France, 2 title fights. We got Dariush versus Moicano. That should be fun. Roy Val's now fighting Joshua Van. But if we're being real, this main card has 4 fights on it. And this whole card in general has like 9 fights on it. And this is International Fight Week. On average, you get about 12 fights a card. whether it's pay-per-view or for free. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights on the UFC website for International Fight Week. Compare that to UFC Abu Dhabi, which has 6 stacked banger fights on the main card. And I'm not even looking at the prelims. This card, UFC 317, is just top heavy. That's purely what it is. Ilia Topuria is carrying this card. Abu Dhabi gets the most best treatment. Everywhere else gets treated unfair. And see all these good fights on the Abu Dhabi card? These pay-per-views need these fights. We need these fights on UFC 318. It could use a Masvidal Evloev on there. It could use a Petr Yan on there. Are you kidding me? And what about 319 in Chicago? It could use a Whittaker. It could use a RDR fight on there. I mean, Dricus and Hamzat's on that card. There's so many good fights on this Abu Dhabi fight night that the pay-per-views need. But anyway, while we're here talking about the stack card, I do gotta say one thing. The matchmaking is off. I don't know what the matchmakers are huffing. I don't know what they're puffing. But something's wrong with their brain. Masvidal Evloev on a 9-fight win streak is fighting Aaron Pico. We should not be teaching the up-and-comers. If you go on a 9-fight win streak in the UFC, all that gets you is someone on their debut. And then if you spend your whole career in a different league, your first fight you get a #1 contender fight? Like, why is the UFC giving better treatment to guys from other organizations? And then there's another weird match on here. Petr Yan versus Marcus McGhee. I think Petr Yan versus Umar was the fight to make. If they give Umar a title shot, that's not fair. It's Sanhagen's time. Petr Yan versus Umar was a good fight style-wise. 2 badass strikers. Everyone's with me on that one. Other than that, I'm glad to see Petr Yan on the card. I'm glad to see Masvidal Evloev on the card. Stacked. This shit is stacked. Alright, while we're looking at this fire card, let me give a little early predictions here. This card's too good to not give early predictions. Let's start with the main event. Robert Whittaker versus RDR. Robert Whittaker, his last loss was to Dricus. And RDR, he's almost like a replica of Dricus. They're kind of gumpy. They're strong. They just plot forward. They're kind of unorthodox. Robert Whittaker really struggled with someone like that. But Robert Whittaker's faster, and he's no Bo Nickel. My predictions might change, but just right off the bat, I'm going Whittaker. I still think RDR is too slow to fucking keep up with Whittaker. Masvidal Evloev versus Aaron Pico. This is really a 50-50 fight. Aaron Pico's got better hands, I'm guessing. Aaron Pico does have wrestling. Masvidal Evloev doesn't get the finishes. But man, just like Mario Batista versus Patchy Mix, I hope Masvidal Evloev smokes this Bellator guy. And I hope the UFC learns their lesson. Stop giving Bellator guys to #1 contenders. Or guys in the top 10. I'm going Masvidal Evloev. Please win this one. Petr Yan versus Marcus McGhee in the featured fight. Marcus McGhee's probably no joke, but Petr Yan isn't taking this fight out of desperation. It's not like he's losing and he has to pay his dues and pay it forward and let the younger guy get a shot at him. No. He just wants to stay active. I don't know where the hell Umar is. Petr Yan doesn't know where the hell Umar is. He must not want to fight Petr Yan. So Petr Yan wants to stay active and just get a win. He's that confident. I think Marcus McGhee will put up a fight, but Petr Yan gets better as the rounds go on. And it's going to be tough to go against that type of experience. So yeah, guys, let me know. How would you rank this free fight card when you compare it to UFC 317? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.